Hello. I found a great article recently in Harvard Business Review about why group brainstorming is a waste of time. You can see it here and I link it at the description below to check it out. Although many points are true also from a psychological point of view, I want to stress out what the author was not very much thinking about, or in which I have a totally different point of view, and why I think mostly in large companies and in large groups, group ideation, or you can call it brainstorming, would actually work to get more ideas out of people, to make collective creativity result in better quality product solutions, and why it would give more impact for the people, that they would enjoy the process at the same time. So the first point in the article was that if we invite a lot of people in a group, that there is social loafing, which is similar to free riding, that imagine there are 20 or 30 people in the same room, or what's worse, if you join a virtual call in like a Skype, then you will listen to other people talking, but in the meanwhile maybe you take your book and you start focusing on something else, write a few emails, you let other people speak, right? It's happening. But there is also a psychological term which is called the social responsibility in small groups. So how to avoid this situation to happen is, for example, in Be-novative, when you join an ideation session, you will be inside a small group with maximum 3 other people at the same time. And then the psychological term social responsibility comes into place, because you as a team will be measured at the end. And you have a responsibility for your team members to be as active as you can, because you don't want them to feel that because of you they couldn't achieve more. So if you are with only 3 other people and not 20 and 30 joining the same session, then you will come up with much more ideas than either on your own or with more people. So the first thing is social responsibility in a very small team between 3 to 5 people. The second point was why group brainstorming is a waste of time, is called social anxiety, which is happening when again you are together with leaders, like 20, 30 other people in the same room, and they ask you for your creative ideas and opinions. Obviously you will feel anxiety and stressed about talking about very bold, very original ideas that might be against the corporate strategy. But this is only the situation of a big meeting, and it is possible to avoid it if you ask people to write their ideas on a post-it anonymously, or as we do it in Be-novative, people join a virtual session in small groups of 4, and they don't know which idea is coming from which person. Only at the very end, after the evaluation is happening, we reveal who were the top 3 people who shared the most impactful feasible ideas. But it is impossible to point at one single idea that who was the stupid person who came up with this bullshit that is totally against the corporate strategy. So that's why people will actually feel safe and not in risk. They would absolutely not feel the anxiety from the evaluation and from talking out loud their creative ideas. So make sure that you don't request people to speak up. The third thing is regression to the mean, which means that in group brainstorming, sometimes, according to the article, it happens that people are tending towards mediocre ideas. And I would say this is the first point that I agree that it could be a risk when you gather a lot of people to have very mediocre ideas, but there is something to do about it. Actually, if you concentrate on 2 success factors, one is to make a concentrated question that we call a challenge topic, that you want people to only share ideas about that specific question, then you did a lot about concentrating them to the good topic. And the second one is we call it the humming bot, which helps to bring in the very creative those ideas into the group that were evaluated to be high on impact and feasibility by other participants in the session. And it would happen in real life, as if you would get constant inspiration from other people, and that's why it cannot happen that in a topic which is about how to enhance the satisfaction of employees in a corporate, that the ideas come up like give more salary, increase the communicational efficiency, because these are very mediocre ideas. So make sure that that the really creative, original ideas will be showcased and people get enough inspiration. It's also a good point to bring in at some specific point built-in inspiration. So like let other people use pictures to showcase their ideas and to inspire others. Or we also like Eduardo Bono's creativity enhancing techniques called random words. We also have a video about it that you can find in the description below. So there are many techniques how to avoid the regression to the mean, which means, according to this Harvard Business Review article, mediocre ideas. And I advise you to stick to them and use them, and because of these techniques you can avoid having just mediocre ideas at the end. So now getting to the fourth and last point of the article, which was saying that production blocking happens many times in group brainstormings, which means that if you invite, like, again 20-30 people to the same room, then one person needs to wait for someone else to speak, and there is only one person who is able to speak at the time. So the more people you invite to a group brainstorming session, productivity will fall significantly. But again, if you think about a virtual situation, typing anyone can do simultaneously, so it will not happen that you have to wait for someone to finish speaking up with their own ideas to be able to react to it. At the same time, if you imagine a virtual wall with virtual post-its, any idea that you find inspiring, that you can relate to, or anytime you come up with a new idea, you can just open up a virtual post-it note and share it at the same time. And talking about simultaneous small groups of 4 thinking together, it cannot happen that if you invite 100 people, one person needs to wait for the other 99 to listen, because everyone will do their job simultaneously. So at the very end, people can share between like 5 to 7 ideas per person in a 10 to 15 minute session, and it's independent from the number of participants. So these are the things that if you think about, it will significantly increase the efficiency of ideation. And as you move forward to evaluation of all the ideas anonymously that were gathered in this virtual session using built-in inspirations, very easily in just 10 to 15 minutes. You can also surface what are the top 10% of the ideas that are worth moving forward to implementation, and what are the suggestions other people can add to it to see what should be the next step for implementation, what are the details, and how to move forward with it. So this is how you can arrive with the best quality ideas possible, that people feel like it's a gamified environment, it's totally risk-free, and they can fully engage in the session and immerse in the flow of coming up with the best ideas that they are able to move forward with. See you next time.